Hello, good morning, everybody out there. We're the tardy party of the day. That's okay, though. There were reasons.
You get to do the mea culpas.
It was not fun. It was not fun. We had a bad morning. There was a toddler throwing up. Joshua had some continuing education type training going on. Not fun. But here we are.
Woohoo!
Ah, look at that. It's a Coffee Table Talks, the angry analyst, Josh Arnold. That guy right there. So if you guys have not met Joshua, that's my husband. It's the whole reason for all the things in the world that are Rachel, pretty much. Anyway, Rachel in cybersecurity I feel like that's accurate. Watching him go through stuff and going with him and everything else, that's kind of what gives me any sort of perspective on what anybody's day is like at any given point. So sorry if it's really pessimistic. I'm such an optimist and he's such the exact opposite that it's kind of, So you'll get things like, I think I posted, it was yesterday maybe, that I posted like a pic of our daughter being joyful and sliding to the end of the slide. And I was like, this is what my DMs look like. I was going to tell you to have an awesome day, but then I saw your title and was like, I hope it's uneventful and just normal and quiet. Because I know better. So circle up, grab a cup. Wait, flip that. Grab a cup and circle up.
This is going to be a great morning. I know that.
Yeah, it is. In other fun news, Will may suddenly disappear, and that's okay because he's got a big guest coming to campus today. So that's totally fine. And if this is your first time joining, meet Will McCullen, my very awesome co-host, the director of the IT Center of Excellence at PIMA Community College in Tucson, Arizona.
Program manager, actually, but that's okay.
I'm going to make you wait. Which one's fancier?
Well, I'm get to have fun. I'm on the operations side. Hey, Mandy. It's so the things that are starting to happen are just incredible. Our students are nailing it. They're coming back so excited now that we can finally open all of this, right? And the data center, I just had another student plucked by IBM. I mean, it's cool. Great things are happening.
Yes, I am very excited. And I was going to make it a surprise, but I don't want to anymore. So Will and I have been secretly planning that. Okay, so when I started inviting Will and he just kept accepting was October of last year. So Will and I are about to hit our first year anniversary together.
Woohoo!
And I have the great honor of going to where Will is every day. And we get to go hang out and walk around. We're going to do a coffee table talk at the end of October, live from PIMA Community College. I'm so excited. You have no idea.
Yeah, so the students are going to be the guests, right?
Yep.
But just to make it fun, just to have things happening, we're going to have some forum guests that the students can ask questions about.
Which is going to be so cool. And Chris Roberts is coming. And I'm still trying to get a hold of Alyssa. She's not paying attention. But anyway.
I got an email and she said that she was coming.
Yes. Did I miss it?
Through LinkedIn. So she'll be here.
Yes.
Alyssa Knight, folks. So Chris Roberts and Alyssa Knight. And then we also have Tech Data's and the National Cyber Warfare Foundation founder, Brett Scott, And this is going to be fun, man, because they're all fairly dynamic personalities, and they're all heavyweights in the cyber world, right?
Yes.
They're the type of folks that are in the news all the time, and you just don't know it, right? So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting.
I'm so excited. I am so legit excited. Okay, now we've talked a whole bunch. All right, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it over to Josh for a second. So apparently LinkedIn comment section's not happening today. Woo! Yay, beta. So if you want to be a really fun, sparkly butterfly, I mean, we're paying attention to the LinkedIn chat, but if you want it to scroll over here to the side too, I recommend going to jump into the YouTube. Okay. I posted it in the LinkedIn chat, by the way. So you could just like click, click, boop. While you're there, hit subscribe. Because why not? Why not? Why not? This is the only thing I post once a week. I swear, I'm not going to spam you. Speaking of spam, Joshua, why don't you kind of introduce yourself a bit, please, and let everybody know what it is that you do now and kind of how long you've been in the industry.
So I'm a security analyst for a fairly big vacuum cleaning company. Let's say that global. I've been in the industry, even though my wife disagrees with me because she's not counting previous experience at Geek Squad. I've been in the IT industry for I'd say 12, 13 years now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Officially though, like
officially, you know.
Yeah, right. Help desk was 11 years ago at Sparkhound, which is a local like MS. It's an MSP here, right?
Yeah,
local?
they're an MSSP.
Yeah.
I started from the ground up. Doing break fixes at Geek Squad and decided, this sucks. Wanted to go into networking, went into networking, and I said, this sucks. So then I wanted to go into security, and I was like, this is awesome. And it sucks. So
True.
Rachel likes to call me the angry analyst because I'll just constantly rant about problems in our industry, like emails that I get from vendors every single day. Not users though. I mean, users are users, but it's mainly
Fair.
problems that I see in our industry. And she was like, "Why don't you come on here and talk about those things?" I was like, "Okay."
Because you know what, I get so much value out of understanding what your perspective is like. For those of you that aren't aware of what it is exactly that Rachel does all day, I work for SecureNation, which is a very small but mighty reseller headquartered here in Baton Rouge of all cybersecurity products and platforms and services. We don't do any services in-house ourselves, so we have the opportunity to partner with anybody and everybody. We like all the people. We make lots of friends. And that's kind of it's a sales role, right? That's what it is. It's a sales role. So having Joshua in the next room screaming and pulling out, look how much hair he's pulled out, you guys. It's all of it.
Oh, he's just getting started.
Yeah. When I went into security, I had a head full of hair.
He did.
And then I dealt with vendors.
Yes, Serenity Smile via LinkedIn. These events are recorded and there are more. Please visit the YouTube channel. There's a lot more. What is this? 39? This is 39. So yeah, there's more. Fair warning though. If you start at the beginning, I apologize for all the things. Okay. I am not a professional streamer at all. I don't even try to be. I just
just have fun.
we just try to bring enlightening conversations to everyone else and hopefully a good time. So yes, there are more on the YouTube channel. Yes, so Joshua's perspective on like how he's approached by sales and marketing people via social media, in his email, all those kinds of things. I hear angry analyst in the back of my head every time I reach out to anybody. And that's probably sometimes why I don't even like there's no pressure, you guys. None. You have you don't owe me nothing. Okay? You do not have to respond. It's fine, right? I get all of my self-confidence from the inside. I don't it's okay. I mean, if you want to wave every once in a while, I will ride high on that acknowledgement for like days. Okay? Days. It doesn't take much. It's like this much. And I'm like, they looked at me. Like that's it. That's all it takes. But yeah, so a lot of the perspectives, I know one of the ones that was really grinding your gears this last week was just realizing that you buy a something, right? Your company buys a something, and you're like, cool, we're going to get to use this new something. And then you're like, so who's going to show us how to use it? And they're like, oh, that's going to be an additional charge.
Yes. So none of my let me disclaimer real quick. None of my complaints are about the company that I currently work for. I love them to death. Actually, they're the best company that I've worked with thus far.
This is true. He's way less angry nowadays. Okay, so I want to like capture this before he's so happy there's no more anger left.
But no, I mean, one of the big problems that I think that we have in our industry is when stuff, we constantly hear where everything's either misconfigured, and that's the reason that there was an issue, and who do we blame for that, and who do we this, and who? I blame the vendor. I mean, because it's kind of up to you don't just hand a child a bike and go ride it and good luck, and you leave them outside by themselves unattended. I mean,
Yeah,
you do if you want to, have your kids fall off your bike all day. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, so this industry needs some help, right? And okay, thus speaks the guy in education, right? So, but having been in your shoes, right? Because I was in network cybersecurity operations side of the college. But also we have unique perspectives from professionals that are in the cyber range, right? And one of them was that comes to mind, did help desk for one of the major firewalls. And you would get people calling up and saying, okay, I got this new box. I got it in the rack. Now what do I do? Walk me through it all the way through. And it's like, come on, you're an IT professional. You're actually getting paid for this, right? So on our side too, we got problems, which then other companies respond a large part of the time by going into, oh no, sorry, help desk, this is break fix. This is not help you to figure anything out, right? So what's the solution with that? Because you can't just blame vendors. Some of us are really bad.
No, and some of us are really bad about that. But let's take you know what? Let's take a anti-malware and an MDR for a minute. If I need to know how to use your stuff, and there's subtle nuances, you should be showing me how to do that. You shouldn't say, "Oh, well, I mean, you've already spent $250,000 to, defend all your endpoints. Now, in order to learn how to set up our stuff the best way, let's charge you another $50,000." I mean, I don't know. I don't deal with numbers. But even if it's $5, you're already charging me too much. We just gave you maybe say $250,000 to buy your product.
Oh, you mean customer service?
Right.
Now, look, I got a lot of issues here because I have sat in on a lot of meetings, okay? One of them is if you have that customer service spirit about you, me and you, we going to be best friends, buddy. You're going to be so annoyed. I'm going to have you on Signal. Look, ask Bert, okay? And I'm going to send you stupid stuff all day because I like you and I think you're fun. But that's because I recognize that need to be helpful to other people in you, and I buddy up just instantly. It's like magnet. It's a magnet thing, right? Like I'm just, yay, I'm keeping you, and we're gonna go do all the happy things. If you do this thing that I have seen, don't bring me into this. If you do this thing that I've seen a lot of them do, which is I don't know when or who got it screwed up that if you work for a vendor, you're better than the team you're trying to service or help. But y'all got that screwed up. That is screwed up. All right. Now, look, I'm not usually angry. Okay. But I want to tell you something right now. You do not. I don't care how many phone calls you've had on the calendar to.
Uh-oh.
On. Dang. What happened? Look, I got too angry for resharing.
Both of you disappeared, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm about to announce that there's internet problems at the Arnold house.
She's not allowed to get angry. Our internet doesn't like when she gets angry.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Well, all right.
She's not scary
I don't know where you guys lost. I don't know where you guys lost me. So look, if you're one of these vendors that sit there and you think that for some reason that you're just smarter and wiser and more awesome than the people that you're talking to on the phone, you need to get out. Okay, you need to go take a vacation. Get your head right. Get it together. Okay. Because I've seen it, and I've gotten off these calls before, and I've gone and I've cleaned up your mess. I've gone behind you, and I've been like, I'm so sorry. They must be having a bad day. We'll find another team member from that vendor to come help you. I'm so sorry, right? Like,
well, and no. I mean, to kind of speak on that from the analyst side, like if we're looking at a product and you act like you're better than us, nah, I'm done.
Oh,
I'm done. I know make decisions, but I'm done. And you better believe that when my boss comes to me and goes, so what did you think about this? I don't like it. And I'm going to give the reasons. It may not even be that, you guys are a bunch of D-bags. It's going to be, I don't like it. Just if this is the way that they treat us, what's going to happen when we do have an issue? What's going to happen if, God forbid, their stuff doesn't work?
Oh, yeah. And
thank you so much. Yes.
And Josh, how many, I bet this has happened to you because we've done this in spades. How much service have you provided in training consultants? Right? They're supposed to come and help you with a project, and they're supposed to come and help share their expertise, and you're having to help train them on basic concepts.
Yeah.
Things like, what is a stateful firewall filter? Things that are just like, are you kidding me?
And so, that brings me to another thing that I can't. It really grinds my gears with vendors, and it's not just the consultants. Have salespeople and obviously consultants and salespeople that have at least a modicum of security experience. I won't mention the vendor by name, but there's one that I call them pharmaceutical reps.
I told him he wasn't allowed to mention anybody's.
They come in and they're, hey, big boy, take a look at our stuff, and I'm like,
and I'm like, girl, he married.
But that's what you get. And then you ask them a technical question. You ask them something super simple, and they're like, I I don't know the answer to that. You don't, or God forbid they do the, well, nobody needs that. I'm sorry, what? And I mean, they'll argue with you. They will argue with you about the industry, about what you see in the network, what could happen. Anecdotal story. So, and again, she said I couldn't mention names, but there was a NDR platform that came to a company I was working for, and
He's trying so hard, you guys.
I'm trying not to mention their name because
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep going.
So
You got it.
they came and they said, they use that one term, and again, vendors, please don't use this term. If you use the term silver bullet
or single pane of glass,
Yeah.
oh God, thank you. You know what? I have a single pane of glass, and I might lose out on friends here or whatever. It's called Outlook. All of my stuff goes to Outlook, and I can get my alerts there. I can even make them have fun little sounds for whatever folder comes up that goes, oh, hey, there's a fish. Okay. Or military. Yes, military grade, Bert. That's.
uses in public.
Yeah.
So I've got friends in the military, and if you told them military grade, they would tell you what, so it doesn't work.
Right? Don't do that.
Oh, and how about, why does always the third slide have to be either the Gartner quadrant or a wall of icons?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I hate that. Absolutely hate that. I think we should get rid of those two slides. One, because you're inferring that the team you're speaking to are sheep and are going to follow the pack when they're not, and it can be very offensive. Okay, just
Well,
take it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. We don't want to see. We didn't ask you to this demo so that you could stand there and beat your chest about how awesome you are. We know how awesome you are. We invited you. Okay, like it's all right. You already win.
And I mean, so and on this call they used the term silver bullet, and I said, okay, so you're really good at killing werewolves. What about the vampires? What about ghosts? What are you talking about? Nobody has everything that kills everything. They just don't. And so they were like, and then they did the other thing that I hate, that they got arrogant with me and went, try to break it. Okay.
Josh is like, awesome.
Challenge accepted. I mean, and I am not great at red teaming. I'm not. I'll admit it, like at all. But so for this particular vendor, it was all or nothing for PowerShell. They didn't do PowerShell inspect. Like if it was a suspicious script, they didn't inspect it. It was just either PowerShell was allowed or not allowed. If it was allowed, you could run malicious code all freaking day. If it wasn't allowed, well, then you would stop everything. And that's great. And I said, well, this is a problem. I said, you guys aren't, I need to know like what script, you guys aren't even inspecting the scripts and sending them to me and telling me this is what runs. Well, then just turn off PowerShell. Okay, but what about my Exchange admin? He lives in PowerShell. Like, what about this guy? He lives. Well, then turn it on for them. Right, but what if something happens to his computer because he's a moron sometimes? Well, I mean, and then, and then I got into...
And PowerShell is never used in desktop management, ever, right? No.
What happens if we have an attacker that gets a USB plugged in, and this is the thing that gets me, and this is they want to argue with you, tell you how amazing their product is, and then when you throw you punch a bullet hole in their silver bullet thing. Oh, well, if somebody gets a USB plugged into your systems, you've got bigger problems than just an MDR. Fair.
Cool, but that
Fair.
still doesn't help me. Thank you.
Yeah. Like it doesn't help. That doesn't help. You know, well, if then that means they had physical access. No, you biscuit. That means that they left a USB in the freaking parking lot and some moron picked it up because they thought it was the new Grand Theft Auto 5 and plugged it in. Like,
And what is it about this industry? I've never quite understood this. And maybe the problem is because it has been male heavy for too long, that everyone feels that they have to hold their tail higher than the other.
It's wizards.
Right? Wizards. I love that. You know, it's like, really?
No, Rachel and I talk about this all the time. It's wizards. It's people that, and we're big D&D players. So
hence the wizards.
long story short, wizards have a spell book where they keep all of their spells and they work really hard to get all those spells. They don't like to share their spells. And we need less wizards in security.
Yeah.
We need more people that are willing to show you their spell book and go, this is how I got to where I got. This is what I did. This is this. And not be Schmeagol or Gollum from freaking Lord of the Rings, and it's on. And it's like they do. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't tell you how many conferences I went to, and I stopped going to conferences for the longest time because of this. I just didn't want to go. I would be in a capture the flag scenario, and I'm trying, and you know what? Didn't win, and that's fine. I go up to the winner. Hey, I got stuck here. How did you get past that? And you almost get sometimes, and it's not all of them, but for someone who, I'm an introvert, and I have social anxiety, that may be why I went into security, just so I can yell at people, and then they can't yell back at me. For someone like me, when I go up and talk to you and go, hey, how did you get, that took a lot. And then when you look at me with disgust and go, you couldn't even figure out something that simple.
Just so you know, the LinkedIn, like I'm watching the window just to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions or anything. Like right as you were saying that bit, there were all these celebrate hand claps that just like, just so you know, you have some support.
Well, no, I mean, it's like, and it happened on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the worst places to go to find wizards. Like
LinkedIn?
Yes.
Or Reddit?
Reddit wins on the wizards.
Yeah, Reddit is full of
Reddit is full of, I stopped following all cybersecurity anything on Reddit.
Yeah, well, that's why in the range here, right, when you walk in the door, it has a great big sign that says leave your ego at the door. Our attempt, and the only way that I know to try and bring a solution, is try to help teach at the point of entry, help bring up students that to try and give them the wisdom of how, instead of having separate spell books, put a big spell book up in front and say everybody add to it, and how to try and nurture that concept of collaboration to where hopefully it's ingrained enough, second nature enough, that they don't want to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever they go, they take that attitude, they take that concept with them. Other than that, what's the solution? And I hate to say this, but I can't wait for the answer. I gotta go.
He does have to go.
You're not going to like the answer because it's the Chris Roberts answer. Murder robots.
Murderbot 5000.
Murderbot 5000. No, I mean, and it's fine. Well, you can.
How about just shock collars?
No, we need to. What needs to happen is we need to call those people out. But everybody needs.
Wait.
Okay.
Let's all tell Will bye and good luck with his special guest.
I will. Good luck with your special people.
Cheerio, folks.
I will. We'll see you next week. Good luck today.
Alrighty.
Let us know how it goes.
No, but we to answer
Will's
Will's
question.
question, we need to call those people out. But people like me and a lot of others that I know are in the cybersecurity industry that are introverts, we're not going to be the ones to do it. We're just not. We need that extrovert to go, hey, you were being a jerk, and do it in the nice way, because the me's of the world are not going to do it nicely, and we're actually
Yeah.
kind of afraid of that. We're afraid to do that, because if we don't do it nicely, we're worried that we are going to hurt ourselves for another job, that we're going to hurt ourselves in our career down the line.
I mean, that's the reason why you should just be polite anyway. And that goes back to the vendors too. On the vendor side, you don't want to lord over your information, or, put can we stop putting IOCs behind some sort of a paywall? Can we please?
Oh, yes,
or any kind of like email collecting thing. You look desperate. Okay. If it's going to be a white paper, Josh mentioned this before we got on the call this morning. We were talking about this. If it's a white paper or a blog or something like that, that's like got all these things in it, then that's something that Josh, as a security professional in the field, came looking for, and you had it and are providing it and put thought and time and effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might have one new IOC compared to the other 400 that are providing it. If you put it behind a paywall, whenever a security team is trying to collect all of the data together to, understand if they may be compromised within a breach, and you put it behind too many questions, they're going to stop going to your site, because it's frustrating when they're frustrated. That's not have your folks put themselves in that position of we may be compromised. We want to look for some IOCs, and imagine having your manager like expecting you to turn up with some results, but you were stuck filling out, 6 pages worth of, this is how big my company is. This is the name of the company. This is where it's headquartered. This is my name. And here is my business email. Like, no.
Well, and especially when we're searching for something like during the SolarWinds attack, for example, I got email after email after email from big name companies that were like, we have 10 IOCs that nobody else found. Great. I need to know what those are.
Right. Thanks.
I need to know what those are. Well, give us your company's name. Right. We want your email address. Please set up an account actually with us. Right. No.
You wonder what that feels like? That feels like, come here, little girl, I got candy if you get in the van.
It really does. Well, and then
I thought we were friends.
And then to go even further with that, though, we're already dealing with an issue with the SolarWinds issue. How do I know that you guys aren't using SolarWinds and that you guys also weren't compromised? And now I'm going to give you all of this information, right, and I'm going to set up an account. I mean,
no. I feel like no. I don't want to do that.
No, and it, but that goes to another thing. When you send emails out, if you're sending soliciting emails, please leave analysts alone. We already have enough to deal with. We can't make decisions. Vendors just need to leave them alone. I mean,
I agree. I get it. Like, if you're trying to grab that level, right? If you're trying to grab the Joshes of the world, make it, and it's like I don't know, it's something that you can trial from your website, right? Then there is a good way to do, some sort of an email, information wall, right? Something there for them to trial or try it out or anything. Bert says no ambulance chasing. Thank you. That too is bad. Look, if I see in the news that a company that I would love to work with has recently been compromised, I purposefully step back. And I try very hard to leave them alone. Because that whole team just like they just all got real huddled up, real serious, real quick. Not that y'all aren't serious all the time, but like it got real serious real fast. All right. I don't need to step into the middle of that mix. All right. That's like walking into your friend's house and like they're having like a drag out fight and you're like, I'm on such and such side. Like this ain't your business. Get out of
Well,
here.
no, and
Mind the business that pays you. Out.
and to touch on that with the ambulance chasing, if we are dealing with an incident, we're already anxiety driven at the moment. We are already stressed out.
Yeah.
And every ping of an email is us going, oh God, what now? What more did we find? And when we get that email ping and it's, hey, so we're such and such company and we could have stopped it.
We don't care.
You instantly move to, and I'm doing my best not to be as angry as I normally am.
Right. That's what they came
or
for.
as unfiltered.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I mean, it is business hours.
Yes. No, but when that happens, your emails go directly into my junk folder, and they will never come out. I may even block you. I may block you company wide.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, think about it. If you got into a car crash, and people were slowing, and they were like, and like a car salesman came by and was like, "Should have bought that car."
Right.
You should have bought the car I told you about. Here, you want to come check out some cars?
No, I'm
waiting on the ambulance to arrive and the police report to be finished, written up. Thanks.
Well,
care and consideration.
I tried to look at it from the point of the salespeople too, because you told me to, and then I realized, you know what?
I do.
I mean, even if you're trying to get in touch of, say, with like a director or the CISO, the analyst is not the way to go through to that, because when I do get a chance to talk to him, because he's so busy, I have 9 million other things to talk to him about. Not your crappy product.
Okay,
sorry,
they're not all crappy.
They're not all crappy, but
quit it.
Okay,
that's not accurate. We strike that one from the record.
Okay, not your problem.
They're not all crappy. Okay, and for those that may be in the security field, like Joshua, I mean, this is kind of like, this is Joshua and I every day. I'm like, yes, I'm also angry about these things. These things make me very angry and upset because I understand that it frustrates you even more. And I don't like it because I love you very much and I don't want you to be sad. But the flip side of that is my vendors are my friends too. The nice ones, right? The ones that don't talk down to people or make it seem like they're smarter than the team they're talking to about the team's own environment. That's always fun. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. But man, it's hard. It's hard. Salespeople have these outrageous. You thought turnover in Infosec was high. Go look at that first entry-level sales role in Infosec product solutions and different providers and things. Oh man, that turnover is hard. And you want to talk about stressed out. So for anybody that's not aware of how most of these types of sales roles work, some of them, not all of them, but most of them get a base salary. Okay. And if they can sell you stuff, they get like this much commission on top of it. Okay, so that's not bad, right? Like if you're a good salesperson, then you'll make enough money to support your family. If you're a bad salesperson, you're gonna die eating cheese sandwiches that you're lucky to have cheese for. Now, let's consider that life added to management teams going, you have to contact these many people a day. You have to make these many phone calls. You have to make these many emails. You have to hit this number. We expect this much in sales from you by next week.
Well,
got it?
Okay.
And the salespeople are like, how do I do that? They're like, well, you go talk to people. You email them and you call them and you do all the things that we're looking for and we're measuring you on, right? Like
I'll give you that.
They don't have time to consider how the security teams feel because they're so pressured to just get it out there. Get it out there.
Well, and I'll give you that. But there
are more analysts across the board than there are CISOs and IT directors and network admins.
Right.
And You know what I mean? They're on more. So it's, if they can, they're supposed to target people in the industry, right? That the market for their product or their service or whatever, you're in there. You fall to it.
Right.
So
But there are ways to do it, and then there are ways to not do it. If I get a good vendor in my email that is polite, that, hey, do you have time? No, sorry, I don't. I'm not the person you want to talk to about this. And they
right.
go away. That's great. I love them. I will go back and look at their product again when it comes time and my manager goes, hey, we need something new.
Right. Because then you're gonna scrape your inbox for stuff.
Right. The ones that I won't look at are, and I wish I had the example, but not gonna divulge that information. But there was one that recently emailed me that said, "Hey, just want a few minutes of your time. I'll give you a $50 Amazon gift certificate, and if you can't accept that, I'll donate that $50 to a charity." Now, and the email ended with, if money doesn't sound great to you or helping underprivileged people doesn't sound great to you, just ignore my email.
Right. It was the guilt. There was the guilt on the end.
Don't try to socially engineer security people. That
right. Right. Don't pile on the guilt. Don't
don't pile on the guilt, because I have none. I work in security.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't guilt me at all. Like, no, you got blocked.
Okay, so Bert asks a really good question. How about a positive experience that you have had from start to finish? So I know you've had more than one.
Yeah, no, I'll mention one. So positive experience that I've had from start to finish, and I guess I could mention their name if I could remember their name.
Wow, that was how positive it was. How long ago was this?
No, I always.
I'm gonna put Bert's question up here so everybody can.
Terrible with names.
Okay, what was their product? What they do? What
DLP.
was it?
DLP.
Okay.
They were a CASB.
Trying to think of all the CASBs you've ever mentioned to me.
It was the one I can't remember. I can never remember the name. Anyway,
I was like, I've got like 20. So
I know. There are a million of them out there. No.
Anyway, so it was a CASB. Anyway.
And I had a really good interaction with those guys. And it was my question. They came back and told me that my questions that I had asked to them actually helped them develop the platform further. One of the questions I'd asked the CASB team was, I was like, they were like, hey, break it. See if you can break it. And if you can, that's great. And I was like, all right, or we're already off to a great start, because you said, if I can break it, not go ahead and try to break it. And our team figured out that you could, and it was the dumbest thing, but I just had this idea. You could send the documents through the email or upload them, whatever, if you converted the document into wingdings, which is just a font. And they weren't doing ASCII checking. They were basically just scanning words, and they were scanning words in different languages, but they weren't looking at symbols. And I said, well, I was able to get it out through just changing it to wingdings. We were also able to get it out through steganography. And I said,
I remember this. This was forever ago, but it's when I first learned about what steganography was.
And I said, and the other thing is, I said, I love your guys' sales pitch, but please don't say that it's going to completely eliminate DLP, or loss prevention, not loss prevention, data loss, DL, I guess. Sorry, acronym soup.
I'm so proud of me. I defined it for people that may.
No, they said, I said, don't tell people in your presentation that it's going to eliminate data loss. And they said, well, if we fix those two things, how else are you going to get it out? And I said, well, I just take a picture and it's on my phone.
Ta-da!
And they said, thank you. And we ended up going with that company. They changed what we asked them to change. And they were very polite. They were very courteous. They weren't, and I've posed that question to a couple of other CASBs. that, hey, what if I convert it to Wingdings? And you get back, who would even think of doing that? I mean, I did. And
Josh,
I'm not that brilliant. I mean, really. Like,
right. I mean, there's, 100 trillion people on the planet. Okay, there's not that many, but there's a bunch, right? Like you're not original thought is like
they're
really
not that original anymore.
it's not that original anymore. Exactly.
So no,
exactly.
that was a good, it was a positive experience from start to finish with them.
How was the start? Who introduced you to the vendor team?
This is gonna be terrible. They introduced by asking us out to lunch. And now that's one thing
Not terrible.
That's one thing analysts will do. If you offer us lunch, we'll go get lunch.
Yeah.
We're very happy for a free lunch.
You know what I like to do the whole pre-COVID. It was, and you've gone with me on this excursion before, where we go pick up lunch because we know that you may not actually want to hang out with me. I'm real sunshiny for.
Well, no, and that's but I will say, if you offer things for meetings, deliver on them.
If you offer things, what? One more time.
If you offer something for the meetings, make sure you deliver on them.
There you go.
For vendors, because if you don't, for pretty much anybody, I would imagine, not even just analysts, make sure you deliver. We had a vendor once that invited us to dinner or lunch, a vendor that invited us to lunch, and when the bill came around, he said split it, and we're like,
really?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that what's happening right now? That's cool.
Yeah. Which
wow. That's a jerk move, kids. That's a slap in the face. That you just let everybody on that team know that you found no value whatsoever after sitting with them. And I can tell you right now that even if you go and talk to somebody on a team somewhere and they don't necessarily need your service or whatever it is, I know your salespeople, your sales managers are going to be like, they needed it, you just didn't sell it right. No, that's not true. Sometimes they just really don't. Okay, it's okay. But they might later. You don't know. That analyst may one day be, I don't know, a CISO somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? Be nice. Be nice to everybody. You have no idea. It's big picture thinking time, right? If you didn't get value out of that one conversation, that one time, it doesn't mean it's over, right? Be friends. Like genuinely be friends. There's nothing disingenuous about being friends with people in the industry that you're targeting. That's just, I call that that's efficient. Okay. That's what that is to me. And plus it also, like, I have several friends that I like to hang out with and engage with on a daily basis in different ways that are, they work in security. And we don't always talk about security because they can get pretty burnt out, and that's fine. But do you know how nice it is that if I'm having a tough day, I can go and complain to them about my tough day? Because my friends our friends that aren't in cybersecurity, they look at us like we're crazy.
Well, and I think that's one thing that makes you, and I've told you this a million times, that's one of the things that makes you different from all of the other people that, I'm married to you, so whatever. But that's what makes you different, and I've told you that.
Is that your bias disclaimer? You're like, I might be biased, but...
I might be biased, but you actually come at it as a friendship and treat them like a person, not a paycheck.
Well, I'm also in a different... I'm in a different position, though, too. Because, a lot of my vendor partners, who, by the way, I also have these same relationships with, like, they're friends. I like them a lot. Anytime they come through town, I'm like, "Hi, it's you," right? It's the same thing, but for them, it's different. They have that pressure that's applied to them, and man, I feel for them so bad. But I don't necessarily exist under that level of pressure because I don't just have one thing. I don't have one thing that we can talk about, or if it's that kind of discussion where we're going to talk about products and tools and services. If you need anything, anything, doesn't matter. Even if it's not something that we're going to necessarily be selling to you. If you're looking for like, but that's just me anyway. Like I do that for friends, like our good friend Natalie was asking about some laws in one of our group chats. Like I'm not a lawyer, but I know how to look stuff up, and I get there really quick. And can verify that information is correct and accurate. I do the same thing for cybersecurity teams too. And they're like, what is it that you do and how do we work together? And I'm like, I don't know, you buy stuff and I make money on that. And they're like, but what about everything else? I'm like, no, that's just hi. I like doing it. I know that seems weird, but no, I don't want anything else other than just, maybe I'll have a question one day that you're real smart about, right? And I want you to answer it. I want you to come back and reply and say hi. That's it. 100%. I wish there were more people like that. But I don't think it's necessarily their fault. I think on the sales side of Infosec, they're being taught to be this way. And I feel for that. Either that or they don't know how else to exist. They don't see any other, they call it ROI, return on investment. Yeah. They don't know any other way to be. And it's because this is the way it's been done forever, kind of thing. It's a numbers game for them. So the more, there's still people out there pounding phones. Like who?
I don't answer phone calls.
I don't understand that. Like, you want to know who I answer phone calls from? People I know. Like, I don't answer phone calls from people I don't know.
Well, I do.
You do, but that's not fair because then you just toy with the poor salesperson on the other end.
I almost got an extended warranty on my Millennium Falcon.
I know you did. It wasn't and then you got the DeLorean too, somewhere in there, wasn't it? You were like, they were like, what's the make and model and something else? And,
I was like, it's a DeLorean, but it gets a little shaky up at around 88 miles per hour. Does this warranty cover if I got it this year, and will it cover for like 5 years ago if something happens back then?
Yeah. So to recap our squirrely all over the place conversation.
It was squirrely.
It was super squirrely. Have a little patience to understand the perspective of the person that you're trying to get in contact with. They're not just an email on a list of emails. Okay? They're real people with real concerns and stuff. And what you do, even if it seems meaningless to you to smash a send button on 2,000 emails at once, that's you have disrupted, even for a millisecond, 2,000 lives for just a second, unless they've already blocked you. But consider that for a moment, right? There's everything in life either costs time or money. And unfortunately, to get more money usually consists of more time, right? You got to spend time to get more. Time is the only thing you can't get back. It's the only thing that once it's gone, it's gone. Be honored that they spent even a little bit on you. And it goes both ways. To just be respectful of each other, listen to the perspectives that are coming, and take that into not only the relationship you're developing there on the spot, but into the next one, right? And then maybe we'll have a few less angry analysts out there.
Probably not. We still have users to deal with, but
that's not fair either. You're there to protect them for a reason.
Oh, I know. But it's just like your children. After they jump on the couch for the 50th time, you still get upset because you're like, oh, you've already fallen off twice.
Get a safer couch. Bubble wrap the
Bubble wrap
corners.
the children.
Bubble wrap the children.
Bubble wrap the children.
Yeah. Isn't that what you're there for, security man?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be bubble wrapping your users in a
Bubble
safe
wrap the
haven
users.
of serenity and peaceful security? Get on it. What are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be working right now?
I am. I'm lunch break to do your thing.
I know. Thank you. I love you.
You're welcome.
You're
Love you too. We're overtime.
We're super overtime. We're always overtime. Are you kidding me? I'm sad Will missed it.
Me too.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to be talking to somebody really fun, Joe Kerrigan. I don't know. Human hacking stuff. Yeah.
You know, hang on real quick. Eric Hansen got it right. I protect the users. The anger protects me.
You know what? Bam. Right there. You win, Eric. You won the spotlight comment.
Yep, Eric wins.
Anyway, look, I want to talk about Joe. Just a second. And Vicky says, be kind. I love Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Joseph Kerrigan, Senior Security Engineer, Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute, co-host of Hacking Humans, expert commentator at the CyberWire. I'm just going to call him Joe. I'm going with that. Joe's going to be coming and hanging out with me and Will next week. So you guys come hang out with us too. It's going to be super fun. Get to hang out with Joe for a little while and have a cup of Joe. I'm so funny and corny and witty. No, I'm not. That's not true at all. And Josh and I are actually going to have the opportunity, thanks to the collaborative effort of family and friends that are going to be making sure our tiny monsters don't die. We're going to be going to GurCon together. Like, what? That's awesome. Hey, I saw we have a special friend in the background as a teaser. So, okay, so Josh builds.
I'm muted. Lives is alive. He's ready to go.
I'm so excited. The pass off is going to happen live at GurCon for the Innocent Lives Foundation. Josh has built this guy. He's a pit droid fashioned from 3D printed materials that Josh has put did you do the Raspberry Pi in this one?
No, I did an Arduino this time. You know, and that's the funny thing. So in all of my years in security, what made me learn Python wasn't security, it was building droids.
Did you connect with the person I sent you yesterday?
Yeah,
that knows
yes,
Python? Okay, good. Were you nice to them?
They didn't talk to me.
Scared them already.
It's okay. I'm not going to talk to them right away either. Like, because I'm scared. I mean,
social anxiety, even on messaging. Anywho, so we're going to GurCon, which is Thursday and Friday, September 16th and 17th. And the organizers were kind enough to give me and Chris Roberts some room to auction off some art that has been created by supporters like Josh. It is not lives. They're keeping lives. But he does have some other really fun Star Wars kind of, Galaxy's Edge themed. I don't know if you guys noticed there's a theme in Josh's office. He's going to be auctioning off a few of those things. We have Cytissus Eurydice, who has created this really I was struck by it. Okay. Beautiful. I think she's doing it on metal. It's going to be on metal. It's like this huge, like digital art piece, but she's going to have it printed on a metal thing. I don't know. I'm not an artist. Okay. Back to the comment. Where's the comment from Mandy? It's like, I am not a professional. Okay. That's, whew. And then we also have Shelby, who's she does these amazing watercolors too that are beautiful. Anyway, there's going to be stuff. Bring money. It's going to be great. Super fun. Only live at GurCon on Thursday at 1 p.m. By the way, Mandy, update. Sorry. Just got a message from organizers a little while ago. And that's what we're going to be doing. So Chris Roberts is keynoting at GurCon. Then he's going to me and Chris Roberts are going to be super buddies all day Thursday. He's keynoting Thursday morning, and then we're doing the ILF benefit art auction, which Cy's coming to. Josh will be there. Shane McCombs from the ILF will be there. And then we're also, what is it we're doing later that evening? Oh, it's security. It's the security show. You all know what I mean. The security beep show. Beep, beep. So Ryan Cloutier and Evan Francine are going to be there too that evening.
Oh, wait, as a guest, I get one, right?
You get one? Yeah, you get one. You get one.
Oh, that's the security shit show.
Thanks. No, I try not to. That's all.
I didn't even use my one.
I know. I'm so proud of you. And yeah, that's high five. So we're doing that. That's going to be awesome. And then for those of you that didn't start, thank you, Vicki. For those of you that kind of jumped in after Will and I were talking about it, we're going to do a 1-year anniversary show of this live stream. I'm actually going to Tucson, Arizona, to the IT Center of Excellence at PIMA Community College. Will and I have never met in person. All the hugs. Like, it's going to be bone crushing. I'm probably going to break Will. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. So anyway, stay tuned. Lots more stuff. Be sure to follow us. Hang on. Let me push the button, the cute button that I have. Oh, it's me that manages this, and I have a few other friends that are helping out with it. But anyway, it's me. Like, just so you know. And if you want to get alerted whenever LinkedIn is not fun and occasionally break, so the Restream LinkedIn thing is like a beta thing. So sometimes stuff doesn't work the way it's intended to. Anyway, I always recommend you guys go, subscribe to the YouTube channel just so that you don't miss out on anything. Plus you can go back and I don't know why anybody would, but you can go watch previous one. Probably for the guests though. The guests are pretty cool. But you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. And be safe and good and kind to each other.
Thank you, guys.